Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys a VOD review on the Lee Sin deck that I just posted a deck tech for. I think it was like yesterday or the other day. I'm not sure. All my days and content and posts are all running together at this point. I'm putting out so much content, and I'm recording a lot of content that isn't even out yet for a lot of people. There are a lot of like different places and stuff, so it's kind of crazy. Basically, this is the Lee Sin deck tech. I'm going to do a VOD review of my own game. This is a game I played about an hour ago or so I've had enough time to play the game. I really like to focus on these games when I'm playing, so I like turn my music on, I pretend that I'm playing, a tournament game. I try as hard as I can, and then that way it makes it even better when I go back for the VOD review. I can say, okay, I was actually trying, or playing with no distractions. Let me see what I'm doing wrong, how I can better myself, the plays I would have made. So when I do these VOD reviews on myself, I'm not necessarily going to go through every play I do make. I'll probably stop and say like, oh, this is what I should do here, and then I'll click play and then see if that's what I end up doing here. I do remember some of the plays that I end up making, I believe, but for the most part, it's like a blank slate. It's actually just like I get severed between whenever I'm actually playing a game and playing in a tournament or tryharding in a game, and then just life outside of the game. As soon as that game is over, like my brain is severed, I swear. Like this is any Mo going crazy on the sticks, and then this is outie Mo, hopefully not screaming at myself going, why did I do that while I was playing the game, yeah, that's it. I'm trying to keep these intros short. I said under 2 minutes. Basically, go subscribe to my Metafy. A lot of crazy stuff's going on over there. We hit community goal to where I'll be playing in a tournament next Thursday night. So next Thursday, I'll be playing in a weekly tournament. I will be recording my entire run. I'll be posting the entire run over on Metafy. Here on YouTube, I'll post like a featured round or maybe a couple of games that were key or important or a lot to learn from. So YouTube will still get content. You guys will get a video of probably about 2 or 3 games. Metafy will get the entire VOD, get the entire run for all people. If you're even non-subscribers, will get access to the entire VOD, but the thing subscribers will get access to is I will then VOD review my entire run. So every single round, every game, I will sit there and VOD review myself, so you can really see how I try and my thought process and all of it, how I look to improve, the notes I take on top of, stuff like what do I do, what do I need to improve on. I'll take notes on that, figure out how to improve on that, and then what am I doing well or better than the field that I noticed, and I'll take a note down on that, because that means that I'm either ahead of the game or people might be behind of a fundamental, and it can make for a good learning lesson for everyone watching, as well as, I could make an article or a video about that specifically. But that's gonna be it for this intro. Like I said, I'm trying to keep them real short. Subscribe, join the Discord, all that type of stuff. I don't like doing a lot of call to actions, but it works. We're #1 competitive Riftbound channel right now, so as far as learning and improving people, I get a lot of messages about how my guides and deck techs are helping people improve, helping them win their locals, all that fun stuff. So throw a subscribe, it's free, you don't miss any content, and if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe later. So usually I play VODs at 2x speed. I don't need to play this one at 2x speed. I think we both played fairly fast. So I'll play it at 1x speed. If there's ever a lull or anything, maybe I can skip forward a little bit. I know the media player is kind of wonky, but we'll do the best we can. So off the bat, we lost the die roll. Opponent chose to go first with Viktor into Lee Sin. This is my opening hand, is a Pit Rookie, Defy, Zonias, and Kiana. So before you mulligan, before you do anything, you should understand the matchup. What are the important parts? What are the important turns? What are the important cards and interactions, and how do you beat those or play around those? So against Viktor, or most yellow decks, but specifically Viktor, the cards that really blow you out when you're playing Lee Sin or any type of unit light deck, or where you're focusing on one unit more than the other, is going to be Cull and Hidden Blade. So we see we already have a 2-drop unit in our hand, so that will be our Cull protection. We will just have this Pit Rookie probably sit in base for the longest time, or I will push up with it to stop tempo if it looks like my opponent can't immediately kill it back and I don't have to worry about it dying. We have a Defy for Hidden Blade, which is great. It means we can stop the first Hidden Blade from killing our Lee Sin or potentially our Kiana if we end up keeping it. We have Zonia's Hourglass and then Kiana in our hand. Honestly, this looks like a full keep here. I could see myself digging like one card away. I could put away the Zonias to try and find a gear that either will buff my Lee Sin, like I'll either look for a bar here or a Mistfall, so I can eventually play a really big Lee Sin and kind of hold the game and run away with the game from that. Or look for Sabotage, so I can rip a, what is it called? The Stratagem out of their hand. I would probably just full keep though, not knowing what type of Viktor deck they're on. Obviously, Kiana gets a lot worse if they're not on like singularities and stuff, or gets a lot better if they are. But for a blind game one, this is fine. Zonia's is also kind of like a second defy or hidden blade protection or cold protection because it stops you from dying. I think I was still deciding on my mulligan and my opponent just started playing cards. And I was like, okay, sounds good. We're not in a voice call here or anything, by the way. This is just not voice call because, again, I wanted to try really hard and have, like, you know, the least amount of distractions possible. So, but again, I probably would have just like kept this anyways. We draw into Stand United, our best card in the deck. So triple opener, triple orange opener. It's probably just pit rookie, buff it, pass. We can't spend the 1 mana on the defy anyways, so it's perfectly fine. We have a 3 energy, or sorry, a 3 might pit rookie. I'm trying to use the right terminology. It's kind of hard, bear with me. So I have a 3 might pit rookie here against Viktor, which is already like bigger than most things that they can deal with, which is nice. I think if I remember correctly, they cull here, which is perfect because on their eyes, it's like, yeah, it's a really good cull. I traded my 1 energy token for your 3 energy turn 1 play, and I got a point on it, so I'm ahead in point tempo and kind of set you back. I assume they have another unit here. Nope, they just have a token, which is fair. That's what Viktor does. They always have a unit, right? As long as they have 1 energy, they always have a unit. I'm on 5 runes here. I immediately just look like I'm slamming the Kiana. The question is, do I buff it here or not? I would assume not. I should just pass and hold open the 1 energy to have defy, so that way if they do have second cull, I can just defy that cull and be happy, right? Because buffing it to 5 doesn't do a lot here. Right, that's exactly what I do. Buffing it to 5 doesn't do a lot here because if they're going to kill my Kiana, it's going to be with something like a cull at this point. So they move up here, get some points. So they are +2 points on us, but Viktor is a bad deck. I've been saying that. It's because they can't deal with anything that's larger than 3 might, like easily. Anything more than 3 might, they kind of just get smoked. So I have a Kiana here. I assume she lives. There's no way they just have like triple cull. I would have remembered that, so I know they don't have it. Let's say they do this. They hold up a 2 energy, so this is either going to be a smokescreen or a cull. Either way, we're going to be totally fine. I think we buffed the Kiana here. Actually, I don't even think I buffed the Kiana. So the reason I don't spend an energy to buff the Kiana is on 2 energy for my opponent. If they smoke screen, my Kiana is going to be at 1 whether I buffed it or not buffed it. Plus I have defy. If they do stupefy, that still just doesn't kill my Kiana even though it's unbuffed. There's not really a combination of cards that they could have that kills my Kiana from 4 that doesn't also kill my Kiana from 5. So there's just no reason to spend energy to buff her. I should just attack in for 4 here and then hold up my energy for the defy in case they do have any play. So they have a hidden blade. They have to spend 1 more energy, and then I just go, okay, cool, here's my defy. With this, I should actually channel a rune here because I'm lacking green energy, or sorry, green runes. I can't play my Lee Sin, which is not good. Which is not good, basically. I can't play my Lee Sin. I could see myself drawing a card just because my cards in hand also aren't the like most greatest. But yeah, okay, I'm just trying to find the green rune here, which we find it, which is nice. If we hit another orange rune here, that would have been obviously not great for this turn, but it would have been perfectly fine. We could have just played out like a Zonia's, played out a pit rookie. So we'll go 5 here. We'll play our Lee Sin. This play works because they had to recycle so much energy on the Kiana. Even if they did have a singularity, we're still just beating it. And then here we have the Zonias anyways to save our Kiana. So our Kiana's a 4 might unit, and as I've been telling people, Viktor sucks. They can't deal with a 4 might unit. Like that's it. Their 3-drop can't kill a 4 might unit, right? They have to use some amount of buffs, which targets my Kiana, makes them recycle even more energy, which means they're not going to get to their Fox, or they're not going to get to their Stratagem. They could have like exactly Siphon Power, but decks aren't even really playing Siphon Power anymore for some reason. So they just let my Kiana sit here. I don't know if they threaten the second Hidden Blade or not. Let's see, what do they do? You might just start playing out a bunch of units and saying, you know, do something. But this is where the Viktor deck starts to struggle in this point where it's like they're not at enough runes for Fox accelerated or pump spells and stuff, and their units just aren't big enough to really contest. So we're going to swing our Lee Sin up. Again, no reason to buff it here. Actually, they're tapped out, right? So no reason to buff it. If they had 2 energy open, you could, I would probably have buffed it with the Lee Sin, because if they had 2 energy open here, a 6 might Lee Sin still beats a smokescreen, whereas 5 might Lee Sin does not beat a smokescreen, right? So this is fine. I think I should just like play Zonia's, bounce back my Kiana, buff Lee Sin, play Bar, buff Lee Sin, play Pookie, buff Lee Sin, hide a Stand United. I think that's a like extremely reasonable play. The thing is that they're not actually threatening a Fox, so I don't even have to play the Stand United. I like playing the Pookie here because it gives me extra cold protection, even though I have this Zonias anyways. Bar is also fine. I'm wondering if I even need to, because they're representing so much might here. Full buffing this Lee Sin while I have a Zonias in play and I have a Stand United in play is great. So this makes my Lee Sin a 9 while defending already, and then +5 with a Stand United. So 9 + 5, I'm at 14 while defending. My opponent has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 to 14, they just need a 6 might difference. What is it called? A smokescreen is already 5 might of difference. So that's 5 out of your 6 might is just smokescreen, not any other spell. So I really like just full committing here and saying, okay, this is your one turn to try and kill my Lee Sin. If you don't get it done, then my Lee Sin is effectively never dying, and I just have like a super duper big unit here. Also, any Stupefy is 2 might. So again, they're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against, what did we say, against 14. So 6 is just like smokescreen, Stupefy. Boom, there you go. You're big chillin'. Or even like Cole smokescreen is a way to get there, theoretically, because like Cole will kill my like small unit here, which leaves my Lee Sin to be just at 15. Actually, I would just like respond with stacking this to the Cole, my Lee Sin to the Cole, so it doesn't die. So yeah, that double Stupefy, they're really close. My Stupefy is at, or sorry, my Lee Sin is at 6. They're coming in for 4, 8, 9, 10 to 7. But then I have Stand United, which gives my Lee Sin +5, so I go 12 to 7. Or sorry, 12 to 10. So I'm beating it by 2. And then even if I'm not beating it, like let's say they have the last card in their hand is another spell, I'm still beating it, right? They don't even full send here. They're just coming in for 8 into my 7. And then so my Lee Sin goes up again. So I'm at +4. I should be at 9. 10 minus 2 is 8. I should still be at 8. I should be at even like more than we're representing. My opponent thinks my Lee Sin died, but they just didn't do the Stand United math. I didn't put the Stand United math, so like that's on me. But I just like assumed that they I just assumed that they would quick do it. I was like, oh yeah, Stand United saves the unit. Like, didn't even think about it. But he's right. I should have just shown the math. That's my bad. But we didn't get there. So he pushes up with the 2 my to continue to grab points. Really have to race to 6 points here, because once you're at 6 points, you get to have wins with like Fox Accelerated or Grand Stratagem, and then just like double take. And we don't have Wind Wall in the main deck, and we sure as hell cannot get big enough to actually beat like 4 or 5 unit or like a really big stratagem, because we basically have one big Lee Sin. But even our big Lee Sin here, unless we again have Stand United or like double Stand United, we're fine. This was a misplay. What am I doing? Hold on, sorry, I'm too busy yapping. What just happened here? So it's my turn. Let me see here. So I untap. I draw my card for turn. I think I did. So I drew a Jagged Butcher, or a First Mate and a Lee Sin. I'm on 7 runes. Let's see. My opponent has 3 energy and then 1 card in hand, I believe. That's all they have. Yeah, so they have 1 card and 3 energy. I can swing in with my Kiana. So this is where I can buff Kiana to 5. Swing in with Kiana. 5 to 2. They have to have Smokescreen. And if they do have Smokescreen, I just get my Kiana back due to a Zonia's. But then more importantly, they can't Fox me next turn. They actually can't target this Kiana at all if they want to cast Fox next turn. If they Smokescreen, they actually... No, they can still Stratagem next turn. So I should have just sent Kiana in here. I was probably trying to make it to where my Kiana literally can never die and I just get a card always. I forgot this took away my Zonias though, which is really bad because I kind of just like waste my Zonias. But this definitely should have been just a, you know, I don't even have to buff my Kiana, because same thing, a buffed Kiana doesn't beat anything that a non-buff Kiana doesn't. They've already played 2 Stupefies, so I'm not even worried about like Stupefy into Stupefy chain. Right, so I should just send in my Kiana, which I don't. I sack my 2-drop. I think I just forgot that my Zonias existed, and then I like went over my Zonias here and was like, oh, that was pretty dumb. Sure, yeah. But and then I get in with Kiana anyways. It's obviously in the clear. There's nothing they can do here. They can play like a Hidden Blade, but not much you can do about that. I think this play is fine. The other play is just to like wait. Because we're playing to 9, I really need to get to 7. So here I just start buffing my Lee Sin. I start making it really big. I think I buff it with Bar. I should buff it with this Lee Sin also. Do you ever play second Lee Sin here and start building that one is a good question. Because a thing I could have done to play around... Can I play around Stratagem or Fox? Fox is 10, 11, 12, so they come in for 12. Right now, I'm defending for 11, 12, 13. So I do actually beat Fox because I'll buff this and beat Fox. And I'm always just holding with this Kiana. So I'm always beating Fox here, which is my main concern. So I think I can beat Fox but still play Lee Sin because I'm on 7 runes. If I just play Lee Sin, tap Bar, buff, yeah. Because right now I'm at 10. I go to 11, 12, 13. So I beat it with just this... Sorry, what is this called in my hand? The Discipline. So on 7 runes, I could just simply play a Lee Sin for 5, buff the Lee Sin in the back with Bar, and then just keep 2 runes open. So that way, this Lee Sin in the back starts growing. My Lee Sin up on the field still beats a Fox from hand. Yeah, that's probably the best play. What do I do is the question. I assume the other play is I just like Jagged Butcher and make my Lee Sin gigantuous. But the math is I'm already beating Fox. And even if it's Fox Stupefy, I'm at the very least trading their entire hand away for just my Lee Sin. And then no, I do play the Lee Sin. Okay. Okay, look at me. I'm playing correctly. And buff. Okay, look at me go. And then do I pass here with Discipline mana open because it's simply bigger than playing a buff from my Lee Sin? Oh my gosh, I'm so good at this game. I swear I don't remember what any of my plays are. I'm just saying what I should do. So yeah, that's exactly what I should do because I beat Fox, right? Like again, the math is I'm at 10, I defend for 11. And then their Fox comes in for effectively 10. The easiest way to do math, by the way, on things that reduce might and all this stuff for the most part, especially if it's just one unit, is you just count it all together. So like I say Fox is 10 because it's 7 and then gives my Lee Sin -3. But instead of figuring all that out, if you just say Fox is 10 might total, it's like a 10 might difference. And it's 10, 11, 12. My Lee Sin is a 10 right now. It gets +1 from shield, so it defends for 11. And then Discipline puts me up to 13, and 13 beats 12. Even if they do, again, have the third Stupefy, I'm still just trading with their entire board. I have a Lee Sin back here. I'm getting a hold point going to 7. I can bump up, go to 8, and now they have to, on 0 cards in hand, figure a way to kill my everything. So opponent scoops it up, says GG. We go to game 2. I don't have a sideboard still. This is what my sideboard looks like. It's literally from the deck tech and the deck guide of just saying like, these are good cards. The reason I do this is partially ego. I think like I can probably beat most people without a sideboard. It's for ego reasons, not because I like need to feel good. It's mostly just like, I don't feel like I necessarily need to have a sideboard, but what it really does on top of that is you see me looking at the set is I'm looking at these 8 cards that I think are probably some of the best 8 possible choices for my sideboard. And I'd say, okay, which of these cards in my sideboard would be good if it was actually in my sideboard? Like which of these cards would make a difference in this matchup specifically? You know, I'm looking, I don't really like any of them. Like Deadbloom is fine, but there's not an often chance they're holding. Udyr is probably my most liked one here because it can shoot a unit that's on a battlefield. It can stun something if I need to. It has ganking, so it can get or accelerates as well. It kind of just does a whole lot of stuff. I also don't hate Misfortune because Misfortune can help me buff my Lee Sin even bigger. I don't have a Windwall in this matchup. I see like all these is bad. All this is telling me is like Windwall should be one of these 8 cards is really what it's telling me. And then I take a second and I look at my actual deck and I say like, oh, I guess I skip over. Anyways, I look at my actual deck and I say, okay, what cards would I not want here? What does the cuts look like? So that's how I scrim even without, or not scrim, that's how I like practice into people even without a sideboard, is just because it lets me look and instead of being like, this is my sideboard, these are my options, I can go, these are my possible options I could have chosen throughout, you know, while deck building still and figuring out what the best options are. How often, you know, I make notes being like, how often does like Dragon's Rage come up as a good sideboard choice? Okay, I scrimmed against Kaisa, Set, and Master Yi Dragon's Rage came out, or in Viktor, Dragon's Rage came up in one match. Okay, cool. What about Windwall? Okay, as you see here, I'm checking. Windwall was good into Viktor and Kaisa. Okay, it was good into 2 matchups. Okay, what about Snapvine? Snapvine was good into like these 2. Okay, 2 matchups. And you like go down, and you eventually see you'll find cards that like never want to be played or get played in like 1 matchup, and then you'll see get cards that are played in like 2 to 3 matchups, and it makes it really easy to figure out what cards actually should be in your sideboard, and then can kind of help you out on your ratios for that as well. All right, so game 2, opponent's going first again. I didn't know that. I just put Dreaming Tree out because my last battlefield is Obelisk, I think. I don't actually remember what my last battlefield is. Oh, I already put it out. I think it's Obelisk, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not, oh no, it's Targon's Peak in this version. That's right. I'm testing Targon's Peak. So Targon's Peak is better if I can go first, and I think going first is like fine in those spots. So we mulligan, we have this. I think Obelisk is also fine. Actually, here it would be not that great because it's against Viktor. So we're going second again with Dreaming Tree. Into Viktor. I didn't see a Singularity last game, but I don't have another unit. I know I'm going second. Here, I can very much just get rid of a Primal Strength. I think if I get rid of anything, it would be just the Primal Strength. I don't want to mulligan away my Kiana, because if I don't draw a unit in the next 2 turns, I'm in a really not good spot. So I really like having at least Kiana. Obviously, I really want Defy. Stand United is going to be great into making my Lee Sin ginormous, but does making a ginormous Lee Sin actually like help you in some of these games when they're going to be killing it with Hidden Blade or be coming at you with so much might that a Stand United doesn't matter? The answer is yes, because sometimes you do just make your Lee Sin like a 30 might unit, like literally a 30 to 40 might unit, and then your opponent just like actually does not have 30 to 40 might even through a stratagem. So I think it's very good to have. If anything, I could get rid of the Primal Strength, but I think Primal Strength will help me out a lot in this mid game, especially getting over the Trifarian War Camp, because I'll be attacking, you know, probably like 1 unit into like 3 units or multiple units, and Primal Strength will help me with that. Also, if I use it to defend or attack on the Dreaming Tree, it is just a way to cycle a card, which is pretty similar to mulliganing away anyways. So this is another hand where I'm down to just like a full keep. I'm also down to like get rid of the Primal and then potentially get rid of the Stand United as well. I think you do just need Stand United, you can see. So I do get rid of the Primal, makes sense. I think that's the best mulligan I could have done is just Primal at that point. We do pick up a 3 mana unit, so we do have Eternal in play, which is quite nice. Let's see what we got here. So opponent goes first. They again don't have a 2-drop. It's just a Viktor token. I don't know if this is them not wanting to play their 2-drops or just not drawing them, but we have a 3 might unit here. We can very much just get cold again, and then again I just say perfectly fine. That just sets me up to where my Kiana doesn't die, and then it's the exact same play pattern as last time, where as long as I flip out a green rune, I can just go play Kiana, keep 1 open to defy a second cold, and be happy, right? So let's see. They take a War Camp here. I assume this is going to be, oh, what is this? Two units. Yep, 2 2-drops. Sounds good. My turn. Untap. What do we get here? 0 green energy is crazy, so I don't have a Defy. But I do pick up this Sabotage, which lets me effectively, like, defy them. Like, I get to take away their Hidden Blade or Coal or anything. It's also really good because it'll help me take away, just know what their hand is, so I know what to be playing around for the next following turns, and that's really big in Lee Sin when you're playing a deck where you really need to pilot your turns and like sequence them correctly. So we Sabotage them, they show us their hand. Yeah, it's all spells. Smokescreen, Stupefy, Singularity, and Stratagem. What do I take here? I probably should just take Stratagem because we don't have a play into Stratagem, really. We're behind in point tempo because we're going second. We don't have Wind Walls in our deck because we don't really have a sideboard. We can play around the Stupefy and the Smokescreen because we have the Defy. We see no yellow removal spells, which is great. We see no more units, which is great because no more, that means there's like no pressure coming out on this back end here. So all I need to do is effectively not just walk into a Singularity until I either have Unyielding Spirit or can buff my units out of range to where Singularity doesn't actually kill my stuff. One of the units is probably going to be a Kiana too, which means they're going to have to recycle another rune. And then if they want to give it minus might to make it continue to die to Singularity, like let's say I just draw a pump spell here, to pump the Kiana out of the 6 range, then they have to recycle another rune or even 2 to kill the Kion, and that feels really good. So I should just take the Stratagem. All the other cards I can play around. Stratagem is not really a card I can really play around. I'm just double checking my hand, seeing, you know, what the best options are. I think I'm slightly scared because I'm kind of slow, but then I realize, you know, my opponent is also kind of slow in the sense of like they don't have any pressure after this. So I go ahead and, you know, tell them to recycle Stratagem. And then now, so we only have 4 runes. What do we do here? We know they have Smokescreen, Stupefy, plus Singularity, right? I quite like going to Dreaming Tree here. I really don't hate this play, of going to Dreaming Tree and just holding open 4 energy. Because what 4 energy lets us do is it lets us play the Stand United to buff our unit and give it +1 more, and we get to draw a card from Dreaming Tree, which is quite nice. So it'll make our unit a 6 while defending, which is going to be bigger than, you know, the 4 here. It even beats a Stupefy. It forces out Smokescreen specifically. Again, unfortunately, we don't have the green, so we can't do that and have Defy mana open. But it's either that. Honestly, I just like attacking into Dreaming Tree and holding with 4 energy, because then we primal and we actually beat Smokescreen, because we will be defending for 4 + 7, which is 11, into 3, 4, and then +4 is 8, 9. So we beat both Smokescreen and Stupefy actually with that line. So I really like that line. Let's see what I do. I will tell you one thing is, like, buffing here doesn't make a lot of sense if you use like Lee Sin Legend. That's one of the lines that just makes no sense, because that if you buff this, you buff it to 4, it defends for 5. 5, 3, 4, 5 still like just trades with a Stupefy. 5 still just loses to Smokescreen. It does not change the math on Smokescreen being at 5 or being at 4. So there's no reason to like actually use the Lee Sin Legend buff. I feel like I'm just cursing myself to use the Lee Sin Legend buff. And then the other thing it does is it takes us off the 4 energy for the primal, so it takes away our options when we are trying to defend. So we can go and skip here. I think I'm probably just thinking, you know, 3 cards, I know exactly what they are. Okay, I do capture, I do use the Lee Sin buff. I assume I'm going to hide a Stand United here, which is why I do this, is the only reason that this... Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, it also doesn't make sense to hide the Stand United, because I can just cast the Stand United. It's like I'm doing anything else with this rune, with this mana. Yeah, I don't like this play. The Primal Strength would have just been better, because they can't Smokescreen me and win. Like, if they do a player here, they just cast like Smokescreen and get in there and just like kill me. Oh, let me see what they do. Sorry, went too fast. I'm not a huge fan of this like media player thing, but no, it's like this. I guess I can play on 2x speed. We are playing slightly slow here. I know these are some pretty deep decisions, and I'm still getting them wrong. So yeah, it just looks like a Smokescreen, puts me down to 1. I still defend for 2. And then I have to waste my Stand United, which is one of my best cards, to trade with a Poro, which feels just horrible. Yeah, they let it go 3. Thank God they didn't Stupefy. If they would have just Stupefied here, by the way, and kept the Poro alive, I don't know how much that would have changed things, really. Maybe I like kind of keeping Stupefy to pair with the Singularity, so I like that they didn't Stupefy. If they would have Stupefied there, I would have been happier. So it's our turn. We are on 6 runes. We did draw a 2-drop, which is like huge. What are we doing here? So we're down by 2 point tempo. We picked up a Misfall, which is pretty big, because that'll help make up the point tempo. And then we drew a 2-drop, which is really nice, because we can now play Misfall, play 2-drop, buff the 2-drop, swing in, and kind of start coming back with point tempo. Because again, we know their hand is 3 cards, and 2 of them are spells, so they probably don't have like, and the spells are like Stupefy, which doesn't help them attack, or help them attack into my 4-might unit, and then Singularity, which they're not going to use Singularity on just that. So that's the play I would do, is I would just tap 3 for the Misfall into am I on 2? Oh, this is 2x speed. Okay, yeah, I'll tap 3 for the Misfall, and then play the Pit Rookie, buff the Pit Rookie, and untap it. Is that what I... Nope, I'm faking myself out. 3 cards, we know what 2 of them are. We know Singularity and Stupefy. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Because that's the only thing I think that makes a whole lot of sense. The other thing is I can play, like, Kiana. I don't want to play Kiana buff Kiana because, again, I know they have Singularity. I don't want to just, like, lose my unit. Okay, we buff here. Yep, all right, good play. And I just go and conquer the warrant. Yep, they're not warrants, but whatever this is called, because I don't want to give them a rune right now when I can't even take advantage of the draw effect next turn. There's no reason to put them to 8 and just let them do things like, oh, like unclunk my hand by giving me runes to play Watcher. 5, they play an Evangel, which, sure, I mean, as card is not great, but Viktor is also just like not great. So they do have Cull, so they cull away my 2-drop, which is fine. Again, we now still know their exact hand. They're at 5 to R5. We did pick up the Unyielding Spirit, so now I have the green light to just not care about Singularity at any point in time. Here, sorry, let me pause real quick. So again, we know their exact hand. They're going to go to 8 runes. Does 8 runes... they can top deck like exactly Watcher, and if they top deck exactly Watcher, do we care? How do we beat Watcher? Watcher comes in for 10. We can play Lee Sin, buff Lee Sin to 6, swing in Lee Sin, and we defend for 7, 8 into 11, which still doesn't really get us there. So I probably should just play the Kiana and draw a card here. If anything, like get a rune, I guess, but probably just play Kiana, draw a card. I could see myself playing Lee Sin just because I want to start buffing him. I definitely should not just give them this Evangel for free right now. Okay, cool. Yep. We go with this line where we play the Kiana. This is also better if we end up drawing into like a spell that could be useful, but we also just have 2 mana here to play the Defy and the Unyielding if we need to. So I don't think we will need to Unyielding, but we're nice here. We get a rune because we're really just trying to maximize misfall value, and we're trying to maximize our runes that way we can do things like play Lee Sin, play Defy, play Unyielding Spirit. We also have this Primal in our hand, which is 4 runes. That's like half of our mana, over half of our half of our runes, half of our energy available to us. So I like getting the rune there as well for that reason, because if you draw like another Primal, which I think we put our second one to the bottom already, or if you just draw anything really that doesn't cost like 2, 1, 2, 3, okay, unit. So again, we still know what their exact hand is. This is perfectly fine. Oh yeah, they tried to play this here, and I just like told them you can't do that because I double checked the card just to make sure. But yeah, this card summons the recruit where it stands. I like apologize and just say like, you know, it's no big deal. So what do we do? So yeah, so we have our unit. We top deck Azonias, which is huge because that stops our Lee Sin from dying even to a Fox. So I think with that green light, I'm down to just send the Lee Sin across. They're at 8, or they're at 6 already, which is kind of scary. At this point, I can't really afford to play around cards. I just have to kind of say like, hey, you don't have cards, buddy. If you did, I like can't beat it anyways. So let's see. Play the Lee Sin, buff it, just swing into Evangel here, go to 5, start trying to get our tempo back, be happy. We can't just let them sit and hold for 6 or whatever, and then just have the stratagem like on their next turn. We can just kind of hope that they just hit, you know, blue rune, and can't cast the stratagem. We have 2 runes here. We bring this Kiana back for some reason. I don't like that. I don't like just giving them this battlefield for free. I think the logic was... what is my logic? Why did I do that? Because I'm just going to hide Azonias here and then have that. Maybe I'm thinking... yeah, how does that make any sense? Because the only math here that matters is Fox math. So like we know they have Singularity plus Stupefy. So we know that those are the cards, and we know those are the cards we have to beat. Assuming they don't top deck like exactly Fox or exactly Stratagem, we can't beat those top decks anyways at this point, so we just don't need to play around them, right? So what we should do is just keep the Kiana there, so that way I just have this like 6 might defender, and they can't take this for free, because it's going to force them into the Stratagem, or not Stratagem, it's going to force them out the Singularity, which we have Unyielding Spirit for. We're going to play Azonias here anyways to keep something alive. And then we have Defy if they end up going like, if they top deck a, because we know they have the Stupefy. If they go like Stupefy, top deck Smokescreen, we always just have Defy for that, which is nice. So we should have just kept Kiana there. I'm not quite sure why I brought it back. We're just like giving them a point for free. I did math out what happens if they just full defend on the other side. Obviously, like without the stratagem, right off the top. If they just full defend on the other side, we have enough to beat it. So I double check with the opponent. I know they don't have stratagem. I think, yeah, they end up singularitying us. So we have the unyielding spirit, completely blow them out. Yeah, I think he types like rough or something. Hard. Yeah, he types hard. And I was just like, yeah, is what it is. Yeah, so they do that, and then I think they just conquer the other side and attempt to hold. But again, I mathed it out to where if this was their plan, we beat that math anyways, even through the stupefy. So let's see what they're doing. I think they're doing the math themselves. So they decide, okay, we can go here, try and hold. They have 3 runes up, which again, we know 1 is a stupefy. And then I'm thinking like, okay, I don't know if I beat stupefy plus smokescreen, because if they stupefy, do I defy the first stupefy? And like, I want to, but then that's bad if they have like hidden blade or smokescreen in their hand. But if I defy the stupefy, maybe that's the thing that draws them into their smokescreen or hidden blade. At the end of the day, you don't defy the stupefy. You don't need to. So anyways, I do the math here. This is 20. It was 18, and then they get +2, so it's 20. I draw a bar, which gives me +1. I'm at 6 anyway, so I can only play the +7 and then a defy and then all this stuff. So I did the math here. I have like exactsies, I'm pretty sure. So my Lee Sin's at 7 or at 6 right now. I will play a I always forget the name. I call it Nar card. Nar spell. What is this thing? Primal Strength. So I cast Primal on my Lee Sin here because it draws me a card before I back it up. So I should cast Primal on Lee Sin, puts me to 13, and then I draw a card, whatever. I bring it back. I buff it with Lee Sin. That puts me to 14, and I'll untap it. I attack with Lee Sin here, and that's 15. And then I have defy for just the stupefy, because their hand would have to be stupefy at that point, which like, what do you do? Because they went down to just 2 runes, I'm gonna just defy any spell they play here, because if it's a 2-mana spell or 2 energy spell, we defy it, and we're happy, we win the game. If it is stupefy, there's not another 1 energy spell they can play other than another stupefy, which like, at that case, it is what it is. So if my Lee Sin goes to 14, I attack for 15. 15 is exactly 5 of these recruit tokens, so 2, 4, 5, and then the Viktor. So this way they also don't get the token from this. I don't think they get the token if Viktor and this dies anyways, but that's just the cleanest way to get rid of 15. The other way is like, you can kill Viktor, and then this is 5, so that's 10, and then 2 of these, but they have 3 tokens, which is 6, which beats your Kiana. So this removes the most amount of might cleanly and leaves the fewest units, which is a really big difference, because that's the difference between winning and losing, right? So I do remember I go for that play because it's just correct. Like I said, my math is just correct there. I don't know if like drawing anything here matters, because I'm only going to be on 1 rune at the end of it, because I'm at 6. I need 4 for the primal, I need 1 for the Lee Sin, so that's 5, and I need 1 for the defy to stop the stupefy, so that's all 6 of my runes. So yeah, I do this, I draw my card, bring my Lee Sin back. He's at 13, I buff him up to 14. And then also, the reason I can do this play and don't lose is because I have the Zonias here, which keeps my Lee Sin alive. I'm trying to buff my Lee Sin, but tabletop doing tabletop things. Swing my Lee Sin here for 15 total. They go for the stupefy. I have the defy. They don't have second stupefy, so it's 15. They immediately start taking stuff back, and I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. Again, 5 recruits, and then the Viktor is exactly 15, and then leaves only 5 might left. So big thing is my Lee Sin lives because of Zonias, which is huge. Now my Kiana comes in for 6. I think I just get a rune here, because my plan is to go like bar into any other spell I could draw here. So I should just get a rune because I'm so light on runes. Nope, I draw a card. Okay, why did I draw a card here? So I'm going to 5. The thought is, so my Lee Sin's at 7. My opponent has 1 card in hand and a bunch of stuff. What is the difference between being at 5 runes and 6 runes, really? I have 3 with the bar. On 6 runes, I can go bar, Lee Sin spell, and then, bar, Lee Sin legend, and then have 2 runes left for any spell I draw off the top, which is nice. Getting another rune also lets me get out like more orange runes. I don't randomly lose here by flipping out like green, but all in all should still be fine either way. So I pass. They do have a fox here off the top, kills my Kiana, but I should still just like win the game here. So I draw a card, go to 5. I'm at 8, so I just need to hold. I don't think there's a way for them to kill me here. I guess they could have like, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack up. I'm going to kill their fox, draw a card, and then I'm going to just bring my Lee Sin back so I don't randomly die to like a Hidden Blade, right? And then I have the second Lee Sin so I don't die to Cult either, which is nice. So I think that's the game plan. So that's what we do. We just buff Lee Sin once with our Lee Sin Legend is what we should do here to make it 9 to 8 attacker. Yep. Cool. So 9 to 8 attacker. I draw a card. Draw Jagged Butcher is good. So can we win here? Is a great question. Can we win here? I don't think I have a line here. Yeah, because if I ready my Lee Sin, I can ready Lee Sin, but I can just like buff him multiple times, which is like fine, but I don't think I can actually get over to the other battlefield because I used my Lee Sin legend ability to buff. I can't buff this Jagged Butcher because Mistfall only buffs the unit that gets buffed. So if I can't literally win, I can now play around Hidden Blade and I can play around Cole because I can just put this unit on this battlefield and I'm still holding. So I will win that way, and then I always can just like attack multiple ways anyways. So I think the best play here is probably just to like play Butcher on this battlefield, untap my Lee Sin, tap it to buff, recycle, tap it to buff, just play this hidden card here as well. So this is the one that gives my unit +3 shield and then tank, so I can always just use that on my Butcher to stop my Lee Sin from randomly dying. And then I have 1 rune left over to give my unit like +1 with the on guard. So okay, cool, that's what I do. So whoa, what is this? Okay, there we go. Okay, sounds good. Buff myself, go to 10, untap, buff myself, go to 11. Sounds good, and I have 1 rune open for my thing. Oh, play your hidden card. Okay, I do. I think it's just over anyways. So okay, cool. So yeah, I think I just knew it was over, but I played my hidden card. There was no combination of cards here that I don't think could ever beat me based off of how they played the last turn by choosing to stupefy instead of choosing to like Hidden Blade. That tells me that they probably just didn't have Hidden Blade. So here, they would have had to top deck like Cold Cole or something to beat me, knowing that they don't have Hidden Blade, or top deck like Hidden Blade Cole. Yeah, really interesting. I don't know if there was like a combination of cards that could beat me here on 7 runes. I think he's on 7. Maybe he's on 8. He's on 8. I don't know of a combination of cards that beats me while I'm on 8, but anyways, that's how the deck performed really well, especially into Viktor, where we simply just played units that were bigger than like 3 might, and our Viktor opponent couldn't do anything because Viktor's not a good deck. So one, this shows you how the Lee Sin deck plays, how I played my turns, and accordingly to what my opponent could have as card answers, how I prepped my turns, how I waited for certain cards before I ran into different game plans. And then it also shows you why Viktor is a fraud deck and cannot deal with units that are bigger than 4 might. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe and like if you did enjoy the video and like this competitive and coaching type of content. Go join my Metafy because they get a lot of exclusive VODs over there for the subscribers, but even just as free content, there's a lot of sideboard guides, VODs over there that aren't posted over here on YouTube. And join the Discord because we're talking in there all the time about everything Riftbound. So hope you guys enjoyed it. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.